I am Catherine, and I am part of RIOT, the Research Information Outreach team. And in this episode, I would like to talk about who are cancer researchers and what do they do. So cancer researchers are scientists who hunt every day for medical answers, for treatment, and for solutions for patients who have cancers. But who are these scientists and what do they do in their everyday life? So what do you think when you hear the word scientist? Nerdy people? Dangerous people working with dangerous solutions and explosives? Historical or classical figures in science? Workaholics? These stereotypes are unrealistic. Scientists are normal people, like you and like me. They have a life, they have family, friends, hobbies. Take me, for example. I am a cancer researcher, but I also like to go rock climbing, play volleyball, cook. Most of cancer researchers work in a lab, but not all do the same job. In a lab, you will find different kinds of scientists. I am a molecular biologist. Molecular biologists look at how our cells work and why sometimes they go wrong and become cancerous. They look at the DNA, the proteins, and all the small molecules present in the cell and try to understand which one is doing what. In labs, you will also find medical doctors. They are the ones who will best understand how scientific findings can help patients with cancer. So basically, they serve as a link between science and medicine. When I do my experiments, results are often very complex data with a lot of numbers. I am a scientist, but I don't really understand anything about computers and numbers. So I need people who can help me to analyze my results. That is the job of bioinformaticians and statisticians. We also find chemists in a cancer research lab. They make the drugs that we can use to inhibit the growth of cancer cells or even kill them. How do we become cancer researcher? So we study for a long time. It took me over a decade to become a cancer researcher. Why so long? Because cancer is very complex, so I needed to learn a lot to understand it. So I did my undergraduate studies, then my master, and finally my PhD. And I still have so much to learn about cancer. So now you know how I became a scientist, but what do I actually do every day? First, I think about the question that I want to answer. For example, the question could be, how can we treat breast cancer that do not respond to hormone therapy? Then I think about how I want to address the question. I think about the experiment that I want to perform. Will I use microscopy or any other technique? Will I need to use culture cells or mice? With whom will I need to work? Bioinformaticians, chemists, medical doctors? At that point, I will also need to think how much it will cost because I need to make a budget and I need to ask for money to perform my research. So I will need to take into account my salary, the salary of my collaborators, and also the cost of all the material that I will use. When I finally get funding for my research, I can start to perform experiments and work in the lab. Performing experiments is a bit like cooking. I follow recipes that other people have written and tested before me. And sometimes I change the recipe to make it better, like adding salt, decreasing baking temperature. And sometimes I even need to try things that haven't been tried before. Experiments use a lot of time and material. And to be sure of the results I obtain, I need to repeat each experiment at least 3 times. But like cooking, when repeating an experiment, I get quite good at it and can even teach other scientists how to do it. If with my research I find some clues on how to treat breast cancer that do not respond to hormone therapy, then medical doctors and pharmaceutical industries can start from there, find drugs, and perform clinical trials. As you can see, cancer research takes a lot of time and effort. And the results of a single scientist is just a drop in the ocean. However, if we put all the work of every scientist together, then we can really make big steps in our fight against cancer. That's why cancer researchers collaborate, exchange information, and work together to find solutions.